Okay, so in this video, we're going to go through a series of mobility exercises, all based in and around the hip. Hip tends to be an area where a lot of athletes, squash players in particular, footballers, do tend to hold a lot of tightness. Everything we do in this mobility session is all going to be focused on that area. So we're going to start with a little squat variation. I use a lot of the squats in these mobility exercises, and what we're trying to get in this one here is just holding the squat with the feet flat and just relaxing down into it. If you feel that you can't hold that, if you feel your heels are raising, or you feel you can't hold this squat position comfortably, if you can't get that full range, just start by leaning back against something. I've got the sofa behind me here, or a wall, or something you can just relax into, and over time you'll feel that you can start to move away from that and then just hold your balance yourself. That's the end goal. So however you're going to hold the squat, whether it's a normal squat or leaning back, once you've got that, just going to press your elbows into your knees and just gently flare the elbows out to push the knees out to the side. So I'm going to breathe in as I come through to the front and breathe out as I push those elbows in. Notice my toes are out around about a 45-degree angle, just sitting deep into that squat, relaxing at the bottom and just working through that flared position. 10 reps, that's 3 done. Using the breath control as well. Deep breath in, breathe out. Halfway, 5 done. Deep breath in, 6, and last 3. Working along in time, nice and relaxed. Always good to start in some kind of a squat, just to really loosen off that lower body. And one more time, just trying to get a little bit further each time, really pushing out to the side, breathing out, and then just relaxing through from there. So just going to come up onto your knees for a moment, just let that relax off. And then we're going to go into an exercise where we're going to be seated, working through our groin, through our adductor muscles now. So this time you do need something to lean back on just to kind of support the back there, so whether it's a wall or a chair, sofa. Once you've done that, once you've got yourself into position, comfortable, you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and get the heels as close to you as you can. When you've got that, you're going to hold that position, you're going to place the forearms just onto the knees there, and as I breathe out, I'm going to press down on my knees there. I'm going to work through 5 reps. Deep breath in, so similar to what we've just done in the squat, but now just working up in this seated position. 2, 3, deep breath in, just trying to push down a little bit further each time, feeling that extension through the groin. One more time. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to readjust the feet, get myself set, and I'm now going to go into a contraction through that same area. So I'm going to imagine I'm squeezing my knees together. So I'm holding the arms there tight and I'm pressing my knees as if I'm trying to bring my legs together. So I'm really tensing up through that groin, through those adductor muscles. I'm holding this for around about 10 seconds, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And then when I stop, deep breath, now I'm going to really relax and try and take that motion a little bit further now. Same thing, 5 reps. 2, and then just trying to push down a little bit further each time, really relaxing through. 3, trying to pull with the other side as well, really taking those knees down as low as I can, but I'm trying to get those knees to almost touch the floor, really pushing down hard as I can, and up, and again, readjusting the feet, make sure the heels are still close. Again, holding the forearms in place. I'm going to tense now. Imagine I'm squeezing those knees together, holding the arms tight so they don't move. Tensing up through the groin, through those adductor muscles. Holding for around 10 seconds. And again, now when we relax, deep breath, I should be able to get a little bit further again. Last set of 5. So I can start to feel that I'm getting a little bit more range there now. The legs are getting slightly lower than they were before. 2. Deep breath. 3. Last 2. 4. And one more time now, as low as I can go. Breathing out. And finishing on 5. Okay, so we're going to spin it around. Just take a moment back onto the knees. Let those muscles relax off. So now we're going to go into a hip flexor extension, similar to what we've just done there, working the movements with the 5 and then the contraction each time in between. So I'm going to get into that kneeling position. So I don't want to be slumped forward, but I don't want to be too upright here. So just get a nice comfortable position there with the core engaged. As long as you're comfortable, then just find it and then leaning in to that stretch position, feeling it in the top of the rear thigh and that hip flexor area. And again, we're just going to pulse through, deep breath, and then push through and relax. 5 times, that's 2, deep breath. Try to push that a little bit further each time. 3, exactly the same as we did in the previous exercise. 4, one more time, up, deep breath, and push through for 5. Okay, same as before, just going to get myself supported. I'm just going to use that sofa so I'm balanced. I'm going to imagine I'm trying to bring that knee forward. So I'm tensing up through those muscles, the hip flexor area, top of that back thigh. Imagine I'm trying to drag my knee forwards, tensing up there. So I'm really contracting hard. Again, holding for around about 10 seconds. And then relax. Now, same thing, deep breath. And try and go a little bit further with that range of motion. Now, 1. Again, make sure you've got a nice comfortable position with the upper body. Don't slump forward, but don't want to be too bolt upright either. Just get a nice comfortable position there where you feel the core is engaged, everything's in alignment. 3, and you can get all the focus there on that hip flexor area. 4, one more time, deep breath. And 5, and again, get yourself supported. One more time, imagine you're trying to drag that knee through, tensing up, holding that for around about 10 seconds. Squeezing through, feel that hip flexor contraction, and relax. And last 5 reps. Here we go, breathing out as we go in. 1. 2. 3, last 2 reps. So again, I can feel myself getting a little bit further now, slightly further than when I started. And relaxing and just turning it around. Same on the other side. So again, just get yourself into a comfortable position, just working so you're balanced. And then we go straight in with those 5 flexions just to start. So just working in. 1, get the breathing controlled. 3, last 2. Just working along in time. 4, one more. And 5. Again, get your balance. Now I'm going to imagine I'm trying to drag that back leg through again. Often tight hip flexors can play a part in causing lower back pain. A lot of people, if the hip flexors are very tight, it causes a slight tilt in the pelvis, and misalignment in the pelvis. It can actually manifest itself with pain through the glutes and lower back. So these kind of exercises are very useful. Tensing, 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 and relax. And then we go, deep breath, back into our 5. Really trying to take that range a little bit further each time. Getting the breath control is important as well. Helps us relax. So we're not just going to sit still and sort of yank the muscle through. We're going to do everything actively, slow and controlled, actively taking that range of motion a little bit further. One more time, deep breath. And flexing. And again, same thing, just tensing up, 10 seconds. Imagine I'm trying to drag that leg through, feel that contraction. Hip flexors, as the name suggests, bring the knee up, it flexes the hips. We're just imagining we're doing that movement, we're tensing that action, really feeling it in the hip flexor, tensing up. So then when I relax, that should loosen off and allow me that little bit more range. Again, I can feel I'm a little bit further already than I was when I started. Needs to be done regularly. You know, just one session isn't going to make a huge difference in the scheme of things. So it's something we need to work on, doing these kind of exercises several times a week, making an active process. That's the most important thing. Working through, not just sitting there and yanking on a muscle. We're working through everything you've done actively. Okay, just relax there for a moment. Just come back onto the knees. So the next one we're going to work with is more in the glute area. So we're going to work the hip extensors on the back. All we're going to do here, I'll show you from both positions. Just simply sit with your leg across onto your knee, just as far as you can comfortably hold it. If you're really inflexible, you might only be able to go to that position. If you're quite flexible, you might find you can get that leg a lot closer. So all we're going to do is just hold at that first point where you're comfortable. Nice deep breaths in. You're going to hold that for 3 breaths. And then after our 3rd breath, I'm just going to adjust and try and bring it that little bit closer. So again, I'm just holding there, nice strong body position. And again, 3 breaths. So each time I'm holding it just for around about 10 seconds, just to let it ease off. And then bringing it a little bit closer each time. So I feel a little bit of relaxation. I find I can start getting that closer. So this should be as close as I comfortably can now. My last step. 3 big deep breaths. Just leaning into it. And relax. So I'm going to switch over onto my other leg now. If you find that you're really tight and that's an area you want to work on a little bit more, you can always just take a second, shake off and go back in, starting at that slightly higher position and then going through another 3 sets of 3 deep breaths. So I'm going to flick over onto my other leg now just to show you the other angle. So I'm going to work on my right leg, slightly less flexible on this side. So I'm going to start slightly further back on this one, just get a comfortable position, leaning up so I'm supporting my body weight. Just 3 deep breaths, trying to consciously relax through, letting that glute ease off. After 3 breaths, just readjusting, trying to get that foot a little bit closer to me, making sure everything's supported. Again, taking my weight back up, so I'm supporting my weight on my arms behind me, holding myself in tight. 3 deep breaths. Leaning into it again, taking it a little bit further each time. We're actively moving through that range. One more time, again, readjusting, trying to get as close as I can. So again, I can feel I'm in a much closer position than I was when I started. Same again, 3 deep breaths. So again, I'm just trying to relax, breathe out and leaning into that stretch a little bit more. It's the same as the other leg. If you feel that's something that you want to work on a little bit more, you can then just go back and repeat that. Same principle of slow, deep breaths, pushing it through. But again, keeping it active. We're just trying to push ourselves into that movement. We're not just going to sit there and passively stretch. We're trying to take it through as an active range of motion. Good session, guys. Well done.